Hi kiddos, Miss P here. Sorry I'm not there today, but I have directions on what you should do. So if the Wi-Fi wasn't working yesterday, you getting the lab outline is your first priority. So if you go to Schoology, just like it is here, plasma membrane is our unit that we're in. So if you click on that and then go to labs, so the osmosis lab right here, click on that. You can open either one of these, the PDF or the Word doc, and it will actually have some directions for you. So it looks like this. So you guys already have done this first part. You set up your cups, and now today you're going to acquire the mass of those things, and then you are going to analyze the results, and that's kind of the big deal for today. So you guys are looking at your change in mass. So not like, and I should say not just change in mass, you are looking for percent change in mass. So you can't just take one minus the other and call it good, because all of yours had different starting weights, and then they're going to have different ending weights. And so because we weren't consistent and made everything the same size to start with, you should do percent change. And so the percent change formula is actually on the osmosis lab, which is why you should grab it. So it's going to be final minus initial, and put those in parentheses, divided by initial times 100. Hopefully that makes sense. So final mass minus initial mass divided by initial mass times 100 for percent change in mass. So you are going to plot the molarity, the average of the molarities, yes, because you did at least 2 trials, maybe 3 trials. So you're just going to plot averages like per usual, and a scatter plot graph with the change in mass. So then it says create a scatter plot graph, plot molarities versus change in mass, add a trend line, place the R square value on the graph, right? So all of those things need to be done. You also are going to make a table in Excel correctly, and then put all of those things in your graph. So there's a note here that says you will be doing a part 2 and a part 3 of an IA template. So if you go back to Schoology, the main page, and you go to this IA instructions folder, there's a link for the first link says Google Doc of IA outline, template outline, same thing. So you used this outline once already. You used it for your banana lab. Nope. Yep. Your banana lab? No, you didn't do a banana lab. You used it for your enzyme lab. That's the lab you did. Sorry. So you did a part 1, which part 1 is labeled as exploration. So guys, you don't actually have to do an exploration part. So what you will do is you're going to make a copy, right? But then you're going to highlight all of this part 1 that you did so well the first time, and you're going to delete it. So you don't need to do a procedure. You don't need to tell me how you're processing your data, anything like that. And you're going to delete all of that from your template because I don't want it. So just hit delete. Then you are going to do a part 2. So you are going to do a part 2, which is analysis. So that's what I want you to focus on today, is crunching your numbers, getting your graphs, typing in your sample calculations, all of those things that you can do pretty easily based on the data that you get. So you're going to have your averages, you're going to have your standard deviations, you're going to have your standard errors. You will not have a t value. You will in fact have an r value, right? And so the r value will be your molarities compared to your averages, percent changes in mass. So you're going to have an r value just because like you have an r square value. So that's why we did graphing assignment 3 prior to this, right? Okay, so you'll have qualitative data. You will have these lovely equations, and then you will not have a t-test. So you can go ahead and delete all the part about the t-test, but you'll have an r value, right? Excel calculation, and then you'll talk about what that r value means with an r value table. Ladies and gentlemen, to find your degrees of freedom, it's the number of different molarities you did minus 2. So if you set up 6 different molarities, 0, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1.0, that's 6. It's 6 minus 2, so your degrees of freedom would be 4. If you only set up 4 different molarities, including 0 or any of them, any of the cup types that you did, so 4, you do 4 minus 2, that would be 2. So then you'd read your degrees of freedom from 2. And if your number, just like the t-value, If your number is higher than this number, you accept. If your number is higher than the number on the table, you reject your null. If the number is lower than the number on the table, you accept your null. Or if you're a stats person, you can fail to reject, that's fine. But that just shows you, is your data statistically significant or not? That's all it says, okay? And then what's new to you guys is you are gonna do a part 3, and a part 3 is an evaluation part. Now you will have another day next week to work on this. This will not be due until after your exam. Speaking of, did you check Schoology? Do you know that your test was moved to Wednesday? You should check Schoology. But your test was moved to Wednesday, which means Texas was moved to Tuesday. Yay! Okay, we'll talk about it Monday, but know that your test is actually Wednesday. Okay? So, FYI. I meant to tell you today, but I got busy with the lab. So anyway, part 3 evaluation, this is what you'll work on after you get done with your part 2. Which you can either work on the second workday, or you can work on during the weekend, or whatever your heart content or desire is. A few things of note. When you go back to the lab, you are going to take the cores out of the solution, yes? You are going to pat them dry with a paper towel. You are then going to place them on the balance in the same manner that you placed them on the balance yesterday. Or today. So if you had them in a cup when you weighed them the first time, then you should dry out the cup and put them in the cup again. If you did not have them in the cup, if you just had them loose, then you should just put them loose onto the balance. Whatever it is, do the same measurement or weigh that you did yesterday, today. Does that make sense? Then what I want you to do is this. Once you have measured all your cores, throw them in the garbage. Do not dump them down the sink. I repeat, do not dump them down the sink. Then rinse out all of your cups, take off any tape that you put on them, throw the tape away, and then leave the cups in upside down on a paper towel to dry. You can in fact see who can build the highest, coolest pyramid if you would like, but needless to say, they should be upside down drying for the weekend, and I'll go collect them on Monday. So, first priorities: measure, weigh, mass the cores, clean the cups, and then you have the rest of the time to start data crunching your lab. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll see you guys all on Monday. If you have any questions, send me an email or a Schoology message. Thanks so much. Bye.